Hello friends, this is Ruslan and the INFAPORT-FINANCE channel. Today we're going to talk about how to stay out of debt. This topic is very relevant because many people face the problem of debts. Debts interfere with the peace of life and create constant tension. It's important to remember that debts are not just numbers, they have a huge impact on our lives, causing stress, insomnia, and even relationship problems. In this video, we'll look at how to avoid the debt trap. I will share practical tips and strategies that will help you stay afloat. We will look at the main causes of debt and learn how to avoid them. You will learn how to plan your budget wisely, control your spending, and create a financial safety cushion. Many people find themselves in debt without realizing the consequences. Taking out loans for things they don't need, getting into debt they can't afford. It is important to realize that debts have a tendency to accumulate. Interest on loans is growing like a snowball, and it is becoming increasingly difficult to get out of this debt hole. Debts limit your freedom and opportunities. Instead of investing in your future, you are forced to give most of your income to pay off loans. But don't despair. There are proven ways to avoid the debt trap and get your finances under control. In this video, we take an in-depth look at each of them. In this video, we'll break down in detail each step on the path to financial freedom. You will learn how to analyze your income and expenses. The first step to taking control of your finances is understanding where your money comes from and where it goes. Make a budget and stick to it. Budgeting is not difficult, but it is very effective. You will learn how to allocate your income so that you have enough for everything you need and still have money left over for savings. Avoid impulse buys. We'll talk about how to resist temptation and avoid spending money on unnecessary things. Find additional sources of income. If you are short of money, you can find a part-time job or start a small business. One of the main causes of debt is the desire to live beyond your means. In today's society, we are surrounded by the cult of consumerism. Advertising constantly urges you to buy new things, even if we don't need them. Many people strive to appear more successful than they are. They buy expensive cars, gadgets, and clothes to impress the people around you. But these purchases are often made on credit, which leads to debt. It is important to understand the difference between wants and needs. Needs are the things we really need to live: food, shelter, clothing. Desires are things that one wants to have, but what you can do without. To avoid going into debt, we must learn to distinguish wants from needs and live within our means. Only spend money on things you really need, not what society imposes. The second reason people get into debt is the illusion of credit availability. Banks and microfinance organizations actively offer loans for any purpose. It has become very easy to get a loan. All you need is a passport and a cell phone. Loan advertising creates a sense of ease and benefit. We are promised low interest rates, convenient repayment terms, and fast application approval. It is important to realize that credit is not free money. You will have to pay interest on the loan, which can be quite high. Before taking a loan, carefully study the terms of the agreement and really assess your financial capabilities. Remember that credit is a tool that can be both useful and dangerous. Use it wisely and only as a last resort. Life is unpredictable, and no one is immune to unforeseen circumstances. Job loss, illness, an accident, all of these can shake up your financial situation and force you to borrow money. That's why it's so important to have a financial safety cushion. A financial airbag is an emergency fund to help keep you afloat in case of unforeseen circumstances. It is recommended that you set aside 3 to 6 months' worth of expenses into a financial safety cushion. This money should be kept in a separate account and available at any time. Having a financial safety cushion will give you peace of mind and confidence in the future. You will know that you will be able to cope without going into debt. Another common cause of debt is a lack of financial literacy. Many people just don't know how to handle money properly. They don't keep track of income and expenses, don't plan a budget, and don't know how to save money. In schools and universities, we are unfortunately not taught financial literacy. We grow up not knowing how to properly plan our finances and often repeat our parents' mistakes. However, it's never too late to learn how to manage your finances. There are many books, articles, courses, and video tutorials on financial literacy. Study this information, put what you've learned into practice, and improve your financial habits. Remember, financial literacy is the key to financial stability and independence. Don't underestimate the influence of our environment on our financial behavior. With whom you fall in love, from whom you will gain, says the folk wisdom. If your friends and relatives are living beyond their means, constantly taking out loans and spending money on unnecessary things, there's a good chance you'll be doing the same. We tend to copy the behavior of those around us, especially if we think of them as authority figures. If your loved ones don't know how to handle money, it will be difficult for you to develop healthy financial habits. Try to surround yourself with people who share your financial goals and values. Connect with those who know how to manage their finances, live within their means, and invest in their future. To manage your finances effectively, you need to know where your money is going. Many people are surprised when they start tracking their expenses and find that they spend significant amounts on little things. There are several ways to track expenses. The easiest one is to write down every purchase in a notebook or special app. It is important to include the date, amount, and category of the expense. Another way is to use banking apps that automatically categorize your transactions. This is convenient, but requires regular checking and adjusting of categories. Regardless of the method chosen, the key is to be consistent and honest with yourself. This is the only way you can get a real picture of your expenses and start to control them. A budget is a plan for your income and expenses for a certain period of time, for a month, for example. Budgeting is the most important step on the way to financial stability. It helps you control your expenses, avoid unnecessary spending, and allocate your finances effectively. Start by determining your monthly income and expenses. Divide your expenses into mandatory, rent, utilities, groceries, and optional, entertainment, clothing purchases. Then set spending limits for each category. Try to stick to these limits throughout the month. If you overspend in one category, try to save in another. Budgeting may seem like a daunting task, but it really isn't. There are many apps and online services that can help you make a budget and keep track of it. Saving money can and should be done without sacrificing quality of life. There are many simple and effective ways to reduce your expenses in your daily life. For example, plan a weekly menu and make a shopping list before going to the store. This will help you avoid impulse buys and save money on groceries. Give up expensive habits like smoking or your daily takeaway coffee. These little things can eat up a significant portion of your budget. Look for discounts and promotions on the products and services you need. Take advantage of coupons, cashback, and loyalty programs. Remember that even small changes in daily habits can lead to significant savings in the long run. In the digital age, we have access to a plethora of apps and online tools that can make managing personal finances much easier. There are apps for tracking expenses, budgeting, investment planning, and more. Many banks also offer their own apps with advanced functionality for managing accounts and cards. Online services allow you to compare prices for goods and services, find discounts and promotions, pay utility bills, and do many other things without leaving home. Don't be afraid to use modern technology to your advantage. They can save you time, money, and make managing your personal finances easier and more efficient. Transitioning to conscious personal finance management is not a one-time action, but the gradual formation of new habits. It is important to be patient, not to expect instant results, and constantly working on yourself. Start small, track your expenses throughout the month, make a simple budget, try to save money on one category of expenses, gradually make it harder, explore different ways to save, start investing small amounts, develop a long-term financial plan. Remember that forming new habits takes time and effort, but the results are worth it. You'll get control of your finances, get out of debt, and you'll be able to reach your financial goals. The first step to becoming debt-free is recognizing the problem and being willing to change. Don't despair if you have accumulated debts. The main thing is to start taking action now. Make a list of all your debts, listing the amount, interest rate, and minimum payment. This will help you assess the extent of the problem and develop a plan of action. Realize that getting out of debt is a marathon, not a sprint. Don't try to get rid of all your debts at once. It can lead to new stress and financial problems. Start small. Set realistic repayment goals, such as paying 10% more than the minimum payment each month. One of the most effective methods of paying off debt is the snowball method. The essence of this method is to focus on paying off the smallest debt first, while continuing to make minimum payments on the rest. Once you've paid off the smallest debt, redirect the freed up funds to the next largest debt, and so on. This method has an important psychological advantage. Quick wins motivate you to keep up the pace. Gradually, your debt snowball will grow and you will be able to pay off all your debts much faster. If you have multiple loans with high interest rates, consider refinancing or consolidating your debt. Refinancing allows you to take out a new loan at a lower interest rate to pay off existing debts. This can help reduce your monthly payments and save you money on interest. Debt consolidation combines multiple loans into one with a lower interest rate and more convenient payment schedule. Carefully review the terms of refinancing and consolidation before making a decision. Make sure that the new loan is actually more favorable to you. Don't be afraid to contact your creditors if you are facing financial difficulties and cannot make your loan payments in full. Many lenders are ready to meet the needs of borrowers and offer various options for debt restructuring, deferred payment, reduced interest rate, or extension of the loan term. Remember that lenders are also interested in you paying back what you owe, so they may be open to dialogue. Prepare for the conversation with the lender. Explain your situation, offer your repayment plan, and be prepared to compromise. It's important to realize that failure to pay debts can have serious consequences. Creditors can impose fines and penalties to turn the debt over to debt collectors or sue you. You may end up losing your property, face seizure of accounts, and other unpleasant consequences. Therefore, it is crucial not to ignore the problem, but to try to solve it as soon as possible. Seek advice from a financial advisor to get professional help with your debt problems. Remember that there is a way out of any, even the most difficult situation. The main thing is to keep your hands up and take action. Anna, a young mom on maternity leave. For a long time, I lived with the feeling that money was slipping through my fingers. Despite my husband's stable income, their family was barely making ends meet, constantly feeling short of money. Anna admits that they did not pay much attention to budget planning, were making impulse purchases, and not thinking about the future. Everything changed when Anna came across information about financial literacy. She started to study this topic and read books, watch educational videos. Gradually, Anna incorporated the knowledge she had gained into her life. She began to keep track of her expenses and make a budget to look for ways to save money. The result was not long in coming. Within a few months, the family was able to start saving money and build up a small financial cushion. Michael, предприниматель из Санкт-Peterburga, took out a 15-year mortgage. Initially, like many people, he did not consider the possibility of early repayment, considering it something unrealistic. However, after a while, Mikhail set a goal for himself: to get rid of the mortgage as soon as possible. He began to actively seek additional sources of income, took any part-time job, optimized expenses in his business. Each month, Michael made a payment to the mortgage account in excess of the mandatory payment. He gave up expensive entertainment and travel, cut back on restaurants and vacations. Thanks to his persistence and discipline, Mikhail managed to pay off his mortgage in just 5 years, saving millions of rubles on interest. The stories of Anna and Michael. These are just 2 examples of how people have been able to achieve financial stability by changing their attitudes towards money. Here are some tips from those who have already traveled this path. Start small. Don't try to change everything all at once. Start with simple steps. Track your spending, budget, look for ways to save money. Be consistent. The main thing is not to give up and continue to act, even if the results are not immediately visible. Don't be afraid to ask for help. If you can't manage on your own, see a financial advisor. Believe in yourself. You can achieve financial stability if you set a goal and move towards it. Today, we talk to you about avoiding debt and getting your finances under control. We have looked at the main causes of debt, as well as effective strategies to prevent and repay it. Remember that financial freedom is not an accident, but the result of a conscious approach to managing your money. Key points that are important to grasp. Live within your means by distinguishing needs from wants. Plan your budget and keep track of your expenses. Create a financial safety cushion for emergencies. Learn the basics of financial literacy and put what you've learned into practice. Financial discipline is essential to your financial well-being. This does not mean that you have to give up all the joys of life and live in constant austerity mode. It's about learning how to make sound financial decisions, control your impulses, and think about the future. When you live within your means, you have more opportunities for self-development, traveling, investing in your health and education. You will be able to afford more without going into debt or limiting yourself in the future. Don't wait for an opportune moment to get started on your finances. That moment is right now. Take the first step to financial freedom. Analyze your income and expenses, make a budget, set financial goals. Remember that even small changes in your financial behavior can lead to significant results in the long run. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, learn from your experiences, and don't give up on your goal. Your future is in your hands. Summary. Today we learned about the causes of debt, methods for controlling spending, and strategies for paying off debt. We also heard real success stories that inspire us to fight financial hardship. Call to action. If this video was useful for you, please like it and subscribe to the INFAPORT-FINANCE channel so that you don't miss new episodes. Share your stories and tips in the comments, and let's learn financial literacy together. Thanks for watching and see you soon. Ruslan was with you.